The spiritual secret to doubling your salary with the law of attraction. What if the key to doubling your income was not in working harder, but in thinking differently, in vibrating differently? What if the secret to attracting more money was not about chasing it, but about aligning your energy with abundance itself? That's the spiritual truth Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor both taught. Two voices, two generations, one universal message. Your mind is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between spirit and salary. Most people spend their lives trying to increase their value by effort. Longer hours, more degrees, extra hustle, without realizing that the energy behind the action matters more than the action itself. The law of attraction doesn't respond to effort. It responds to frequency. When your mind is filled with lack, your energy vibrates at scarcity, and the universe, like a perfect mirror, reflects it back. But when your thoughts are aligned with expansion, gratitude, and service, your vibration rises and your income follows. Earl Nightingale used to say, "Our rewards in life will always be in exact proportion to the service we render." At first, it sounds practical, even logical. But listen deeper. What he truly meant was that your inner vibration of value determines the flow of outer wealth. When you feel worthy, creative, and expansive, you emit the frequency of service, and money is drawn to that like iron to a magnet. Bob Proctor took that truth and electrified it with spiritual power. He said, "If you can hold the image of wealth in your mind, you can attract it into your life. Because images are not just pictures, they are vibrations in motion." When you imagine yourself earning double your salary, you're not fantasizing. You're creating a vibrational pattern that your subconscious begins to express through ideas, actions, and opportunities. The shift from effort to energy. There's a moment that happens in every spiritual awakening. The moment you realize that everything external is just a reflection of the internal. Your bank account is not your problem. It's your feedback. It shows you what you believe about money, about yourself, about the flow of life. If you believe money is scarce, you'll vibrate scarcity and repel it. If you believe money is a natural expression of creativity, joy, and service, it will flow toward you effortlessly. This is what Nightingale meant when he said, "You become what you think about," and what Proctor meant when he said, "You attract what you are, not what you want." They were both pointing toward the same spiritual truth. You don't manifest what you wish for. You manifest what you vibrate. So, if you want to double your salary, don't start with a financial plan. Start with an energetic one. Ask yourself, what is the emotional frequency of someone earning twice what I earn today? How would they feel waking up? How would they speak about opportunities? How would they see themselves when they look in the mirror? When you begin to feel that reality as if it were already yours, your subconscious starts rearranging circumstances to make it true. Why energy precedes income? Every paycheck is an echo of past energy. It's the physical representation of what you've been vibrating, believing, and allowing. That's why chasing higher income through stress rarely works, because stress is a vibration of contraction. Bob Proctor often said, "You can't get rich thinking poor," and Earl Nightingale echoed that decades before with his famous broadcast, "The Strangest Secret." He said the secret to success was hidden in plain sight, in the power of thought itself. He described the human mind as fertile soil. Whatever seed you plant, whether of wealth or worry, will grow. That means the true secret to doubling your salary is not external strategy. It's internal gardening. You must uproot the weeds of doubt, guilt, and fear around money, and replace them with seeds of abundance, gratitude, and worthiness. When you think from a state of gratitude, your vibration multiplies. When you act from faith instead of fear, energy flows more freely. And when you feel aligned with purpose, prosperity becomes your natural state. The energy of worthiness, if you don't believe you deserve more, you'll unconsciously reject opportunities that could bring you more. You'll talk yourself out of promotions. You'll procrastinate on inspired ideas. You'll dismiss possibilities that could multiply your income. Because deep down, your vibration says, I'm not ready. That's why Bob Proctor's core teaching was to reprogram the subconscious, not by forcing action, but by altering identity. He said, your results will always match your self-image. So if your self-image vibrates limitation, you'll earn within that frequency. But if you expand your self-image to one of worth, confidence, and joy, your income must expand too. Earl Nightingale taught the same truth, but from a more logical angle. He said, the amount of money we receive will always be in direct ratio to the demand for what we do, our ability to do it, and the difficulty of replacing us. In other words, to increase your income, increase your inner value, not by working more, but by becoming more. When you align your energy with mastery, enthusiasm, and contribution, the universe cannot help but mirror that expansion financially. A higher understanding of money is energy, not paper. It moves where it feels most welcome, toward people and ideas vibrating at abundance, creativity, and love. It's repelled by fear, guilt, and resentment. That's why gratitude is the highest money magnet there is. Gratitude opens the energetic channel through which abundance flows. The moment you say, I already have more than enough, you raise your frequency above need and into creation. You stop vibrating lack and start vibrating overflow. And in that vibration, opportunities appear as if out of nowhere. Clients, collaborations, raises, ideas, synchronicities. But they're not coincidences. They're energetic responses. As Nightingale put it, we can let circumstances rule us, or we can take charge and rule our lives from within. The law of attraction begins working the instant you shift your vibration from waiting to knowing, from asking to expecting, from hoping to being. The truth you were never taught. No one ever taught you that your mind was designed to create. That your salary, your success, your life's direction, all of it begins in the invisible field of thought. Schools teach arithmetic, not attraction. They train logic, but not vibration. But Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor devoted their lives to changing that. They showed that money is not earned by the hour. It's earned by the level of consciousness you maintain while you live those hours. You can double your salary, not by doubling your effort, but by doubling your awareness of who you are and what you vibrate. You are energy in motion. You are spirit expressing through thought. And once you realize that, you stop trying to get rich and start allowing richness to flow through you. Because wealth is not something you pursue. It's something you become. When you begin to understand that your mind is not just a thinking machine, but a broadcasting station, you realize something profound. Every thought is a signal, and every emotion is a frequency. You are constantly sending out messages to the universe. Messages about how much you believe you deserve, how much you expect, and what you are ready to receive. Most people are unaware of what they're broadcasting. They think they want more money, but deep down, their signal says, I don't believe it's possible. Earl Nightingale often said that the strangest secret is that we become what we think about most of the time. That truth alone can change your life. But Bob Proctor went further. He taught that it's not just about what you think consciously, it's what you feel subconsciously that determines the outcome. Thought sends the message, emotion charges it with power. Together, they form your vibration, and vibration determines attraction. So if your salary hasn't grown, the issue isn't in your job, it's in your vibration. You've been tuned to the same frequency for years, and the universe simply keeps matching it. The outer world is the echo of your inner frequency. Want a new echo? Change the original sound, your vibration. That's why so many people work harder and harder without seeing real increase. Their actions change, but their vibration doesn't. They keep affirming abundance but feeling fear. And the law of attraction reads only one language, the vibration of feeling. You can say, I am abundant, 1,000 times, but But if your emotions vibrate at worry, scarcity, or self-doubt, that's what you're really broadcasting. The solution begins with emotional calibration, learning to think and feel in harmony. When your thoughts say, "I can," and your feelings agree, the universe responds immediately. The flow opens. So before we go deeper, take a moment. Breathe. If this message has already awakened something inside you, if it reminded you that you are more powerful than your circumstances, then take one simple action now. Like this video. That tiny act tells the algorithm and the universe that you are ready to expand your awareness and receive more light, more wisdom, and more abundance. Let's continue this journey together, because the next moments may be the shift your soul was waiting for. Now, let's explore what Nightingale and Proctor both discovered, the emotional formula behind financial expansion. 1. The vibration of belief. Belief is the seed of wealth. Without belief, effort becomes struggle. With belief, effort becomes flow. Earl Nightingale explained that success is not a matter of luck, but of law. He said, "Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal." That definition is so simple, yet it contains the blueprint of manifestation. Progressive realization means your success is measured by how aligned you are with your purpose, not by the current size of your paycheck. When you are moving toward a worthy ideal with belief and joy, you are already successful, even before the results appear. Bob Proctor translated this idea into vibration. He said, "Faith and fear both demand you believe in something you can't see. You choose which one to focus on." Belief is not about evidence. It's about vibration. If you believe something strongly enough, your energy field begins to bend reality around that belief. So how do you build belief? Through repetition and emotional immersion. The subconscious mind learns through constant emotional repetition. The more you impress an image on your mind, a clear picture of you earning double your salary, living in joy, feeling secure, the more your subconscious begins to accept it as truth. And once it accepts it, your vibration changes automatically. You start to act differently, think differently, walk differently. People notice it. Opportunities feel drawn to you. That's the energetic magnetism both men taught. 2. Energy first, action second. Society teaches the opposite. Work first, think later. But Nightingale and Proctor taught a higher order. Align energy first, act later. When you take inspired action from a high vibration, the universe seems to assist you. Things move smoothly. Timing feels perfect, and coincidences align in your favor. But when you act from stress, desperation, or fear, you create resistance, even if you're doing the same actions. Bob Proctor often said, "Don't try to make money. Make yourself valuable, and money will be attracted to you." This value is energetic, not just practical. It's the vibration of creativity, enthusiasm, and confidence. When you radiate those states, you become magnetic. People want to work with you, opportunities find you, and money naturally flows toward the value you're emitting. Earl Nightingale mirrored that truth when he said, "We become what we think about, and our surroundings become the mirror of our inner world." That means doubling your salary begins with doubling your frequency, doubling the strength of your gratitude, joy, and self-worth. If you can hold that energy long enough, reality must respond. That's law, not luck. 3. The gratitude wealth feedback loop. There's a spiritual equation that both Nightingale and Proctor live by. Gratitude multiplies abundance. Whenever you give thanks for what you already have, you're telling the universe, "I am in harmony with prosperity." Gratitude is not passive. It's a vibrational command that says, "More of this, please." If you start every morning by mentally listing what you're grateful for, not mechanically, but emotionally, you start your day in a vibration of overflow. You can't attract wealth from a frequency of need, but you can attract it easily from a frequency of gratitude. Earl Nightingale once said, "Learn to enjoy every minute of your life. Be happy now." He wasn't teaching complacency. He was teaching frequency. When you feel happy now, you are already on the vibration of wealth, because happiness is abundance experienced emotionally. And Bob Proctor used to remind his students, "You'll never attract what you're not grateful for." That means you can't expand what you secretly resent or feel guilty about. Gratitude dissolves guilt, cleanses energy, and opens the channel for more. The quickest way to double your salary is to double your gratitude, to be twice as grateful for what you already have, and to radiate that energy like a signal of wealth. 4. The law of vibration in motion. Every object, person, and thought vibrates. You're a walking frequency field, constantly interacting with others. Money has its own vibration. So does poverty. When you think thoughts of fear, guilt, or lack, your vibration drops to the lower spectrum, and money, which vibrates at abundance, can't match that frequency. It's not that the universe is denying you. It simply can't connect to your signal. When you elevate your vibration through joy, creativity, service, and faith, your energy field starts resonating with the vibration of abundance. Then, money flows naturally because you've become a match to it. That's what both Nightingale and Proctor meant when they said success is attracted, not pursued. 5. The practice of spiritual alignment. You can raise your vibration deliberately. It's not mystical. It's practical. Here's a simple daily practice inspired by their teachings. Morning visualization. Before touching your phone, close your eyes and see yourself already living the life that reflects double your current income. Feel the comfort, the joy, the confidence. Hold that emotional vibration for a few minutes. Gratitude expansion. Write down at least 3 things you're deeply grateful for and feel them. Don't just list them. Purposeful intention. Ask yourself, how can I serve more today? Because the vibration of service is the magnet of wealth. The universe rewards expansion. Faith in motion. Throughout your day, when doubt or worry appears, replace it with faith. Say quietly to yourself, I am tuned to the frequency of abundance. If you do this consistently, you'll begin to notice subtle shifts, opportunities appearing, conversations changing, intuition guiding you. That's not magic. It's resonance. 6. The bridge between spirit and salary. The law of attraction is spiritual, but money is physical. Bridging the two requires understanding that money is not the goal. It's the reflection. When you vibrate joyfully, your work improves naturally. You attract better clients, better conditions, better timing. That's the spiritual mechanics of salary increase. Earl Nightingale's logic and Bob Proctor's spirituality fuse perfectly here. Nightingale said, everything begins with an idea. Proctor said, spirit expresses through ideas. Together, they're telling you, your ideas are divine currency. Every time you receive an inspired idea and act on it with faith, you're turning spiritual energy into financial reward. That's the divine economy. Energy becomes thought, thought becomes form, and form becomes prosperity. Remember this truth. Money doesn't come to you. It comes through you. It's the byproduct of the energy you express, the value you create, and the vibration you hold. When you start thinking from abundance, feeling from abundance, and acting from abundance, your salary cannot help but double. Because your vibration has, you will meet the right people, make the right decisions, and attract the right timing. Because everything external follows vibration. So start today. Don't wait for your boss, your company, or the economy. Shift your vibration, and the material world will reorganize itself around your new frequency. That's the unshakable law that both Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor discovered and lived. And if you're feeling inspired right now, if you can sense that your vibration's already rising just by listening, leave a like, because energy moves where attention flows. The more gratitude we spread, the more light we attract. Before we move forward, take a moment to like this video. It helps spread this message to more people who are searching for a way to transform their financial reality through the power of thought and spirit. Now, let's dive deeper. Earl Nightingale once said that we become what we think about. Bob Proctor took that principle and infused it with energy, vibration, and the spiritual laws of the universe. When you combine these ideas, you get a formula that can literally double or even triple your income. Not through luck, but through alignment. The truth is, money is not a physical object first. It's an idea. Every dollar that has ever existed began as a thought in someone's mind. If you want to earn more, you must first think more. But not in the sense of thinking harder. You must think higher. You must raise the frequency of your thoughts to match the abundance you want to experience. Your salary, your opportunities, your level of success, all of them are mirrors of your current vibration. When Bob Proctor said, "You don't get what you want, you get what you are," he meant that your internal state creates your external world. If you're operating from fear, scarcity, or self-doubt, you'll attract more situations that match those emotions. But if you operate from gratitude, confidence, and purpose, you begin to magnetize success. Let's make this practical. Imagine two people with the same job. One believes they are underpaid, trapped, and unlucky. The other believes their work has value, that opportunities are everywhere, and that money flows easily to them. Over time, the second person attracts raises, promotions, or entirely new offers, not because they're lucky, but because they've changed their inner dialogue. They're broadcasting a new frequency. Earl Nightingale taught that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That means you don't need to be rich right now. You just need to be moving toward a rich idea. The law of attraction responds not to your circumstances, but to your direction. When you know where you're going and act with faith, you start pulling the future toward you. Bob Proctor often said, "Your results tell the truth about your vibration." So if you want to double your salary, you must double your awareness. Ask yourself, what thoughts am I repeating every day? Do I expect abundance, or do I quietly expect struggle? Do I talk about lack, or do I speak about growth? Every repeated thought is a command to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind controls 95% of your behavior. Let's talk about energy. Spiritually speaking, money is energy in motion. It flows where it feels respected, where it feels understood, and where it can grow. People who live in resentment toward money unknowingly push it away. That's why Bob Proctor taught the importance of gratitude and respect, not worshiping money, but appreciating it as a divine tool for freedom and creation. When you're aligned with that truth, opportunities appear effortlessly. You start meeting the right people. Ideas come to you out of nowhere. Solutions that seemed impossible suddenly show up in the form of coincidences. But these are not coincidences. They're manifestations of your elevated consciousness. Earl Nightingale once described the human mind as fertile soil. Whatever you plant will grow, whether that's abundance or limitation. The subconscious doesn't question your beliefs. It accepts them as truth. So, if you constantly say, "I can't afford this," "Money never stays with me," or "I'll never earn more," those statements take root. Your mind then begins creating situations that make them real. To double your salary, you must begin planting new seeds. I am worthy of wealth. I am grateful for increasing income. Money flows to me easily and frequently. Repeat these until they become natural. Your words carry vibration. Speak them as if they are already true, and they will become true. Bob Proctor always emphasized that you don't work for money. Money works for you. The job you have is only one channel through which money flows, not the source. When you believe that your employer is the source, you limit yourself to one stream. But when you open your consciousness, you allow infinite channels to appear. Clients, opportunities, partnerships, ideas, investments. Spiritually, this is about removing resistance. Most people block their abundance through guilt or self-doubt. They think wealth is selfish. But as both Nightingale and Proctor reminded us, true wealth expands life. It allows you to give, to grow, to express your higher self. The universe is not short on resources. It's abundant beyond measure. The only limit is your belief in lack. So, if you want to double your salary, stop chasing money and start attracting it. Become magnetic by aligning your thoughts and emotions with wealth. Think the way wealthy, peaceful people think. Feel the gratitude they feel. Act with confidence. Speak success. Move with purpose. And remember, your spiritual energy is your real capital. The more you nurture it, the more physical wealth mirrors it. That's the ultimate secret both Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor wanted humanity to understand. That your outer world will always rearrange itself to reflect your inner vibration. When you master your vibration, money becomes effortless because you no longer pursue wealth, you embody it. Every transformation begins in silence. Most people want to earn more money, yet they rarely take a moment to quiet their minds and listen to the energy that already exists within them. Earl Nightingale taught that our thoughts are like radio frequencies, constantly transmitting and receiving vibrations. Bob Proctor expanded on that truth, explaining that your mind is not a container, it's a transmitter and receiver of energy. So if you want to attract new levels of wealth, you must tune into a new station of consciousness. Think about the way you start your day. When you wake up, do you instantly think about bills, stress, and unfinished tasks? Or do you open your eyes with gratitude for another opportunity to grow, create, and serve? The vibration you begin your day with determines what kind of results you'll see. If you wake up worrying, you send a signal of fear into the universe. But when you start with appreciation, even before checking your phone or stepping out of bed, you align yourself with the frequency of abundance. Bob Proctor often repeated that gratitude hooks you up to the source of all supply. This isn't poetic language, it's metaphysical truth. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. It moves your mind from lack to fullness. When you stay in that energy, you become magnetic to more experiences that match that feeling. Earl Nightingale believed that most people fail because they never define what they truly want. They drift through life with vague wishes like, I want more money, or I just want to be happy. But the subconscious mind can't respond to vague instructions. It requires clarity. If you want to double your salary, you must set a clear, specific goal. Write it down. See it. Feel it. Speak it daily. Imagine your income as energy rather than numbers. The universe doesn't understand money. It understands vibration. So instead of focusing on how it will happen, focus on how it feels to live in financial freedom. Feel the excitement, the peace, the gratitude, as if it's already real. Your subconscious mind begins to accept that vibration is truth, and soon, your outer life must adjust to match it. There's a reason Bob Proctor used affirmations like, I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities, through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Every part of that sentence is intentional. Happy and grateful raises your vibration. Money comes to me, places you in a receptive state. Increasing quantities declares expansion. Multiple sources removes limitation. Continuous basis builds momentum. That's a perfect affirmation formula because it fuses the mental, emotional, and spiritual dimensions of attraction. Let's dive deeper into the spiritual mechanics. In every moment, your energy field is broadcasting signals that either attract or repel opportunities. You cannot fake this vibration. You might speak positive words, but if underneath you feel doubt, fear, or guilt, those emotions will override your affirmations. That's why inner alignment is more important than outer effort. When you truly believe, your actions carry invisible force. Earl Nightingale once described belief as the thermostat of human potential. You will never rise above your belief. If your mental thermostat is set at $3,000 a month, even if you suddenly earn $6,000, your subconscious will find ways to pull you back down. Unexpected expenses, poor decisions, distractions, until you return to what feels normal. That's why raising your income requires raising your self-image. Bob Proctor built his entire career on this truth. Your self-image controls your results. You can't outperform the picture you hold of yourself. If you see yourself as average, struggling, or undeserving, that's exactly the energy you radiate. And since energy attracts its likeness, you'll keep meeting people, situations, and opportunities that reflect your own limitations. The key is to create a new self-image aligned with abundance. How do you do that? By repetition, imagination, and emotion. Each time you visualize yourself as abundant, confident, and at peace with money, you're reprogramming your subconscious mind. The more vivid and emotional the image, the faster your vibration changes. Earl Nightingale said, "Our environment, the world in which we live and work, is a mirror of our attitudes and expectations." In other words, your world is your reflection. Change the reflection, and the world changes too. Here's a powerful exercise used by both Nightingale and Proctor's students worldwide. Set a clear income goal. Write the exact amount you wish to earn, not as a wish, but as a statement of fact. I am so happy and grateful now that I earn $_ per month. Visualize daily. See yourself receiving that income easily, joyfully, in perfect harmony. Act as if. Speak, move, and decide like someone already earning that amount. Express gratitude. Thank the universe, your source, and yourself for the growth. Release resistance. Don't question how it will come. Your job is belief, not logistics. When practiced consistently, this rewires your entire energetic field. Suddenly, ideas that were invisible begin appearing in your awareness. People start mentioning opportunities. You accidentally come across a job offer, a business idea, or a client that multiplies your income. This isn't magic. It's the law of resonance in motion. Bob Proctor used to say, "You are living simultaneously on 3 planes: spiritual, intellectual, and physical. Money is just a result on the physical plane, but results are caused by thoughts and feelings on the higher planes." If you try to fix your financial problems with only physical actions like working harder, picking up more hours, or cutting costs, you'll keep repeating the same cycle. The true solution begins in thought and spirit. Earl Nightingale added the missing link: purpose. He taught that success without purpose is emptiness. Many people chase money, but never stop to ask why. When your financial growth aligns with your spiritual purpose, money flows more easily, because you're no longer chasing its service turning into prosperity. Ask yourself, how can my work serve more people? How can my talent improve lives? When your service expands, so does your income. Let's go even deeper. Every thought emits an electromagnetic frequency. When you think of lack, your energy contracts. When you think of abundance, it expands. This expansion is what attracts. So, if you've been feeling stuck, ask, where am I shrinking energetically? Are you holding on to resentment toward past employers, fear about the future, or guilt about wealth? These emotions create energetic blockages that prevent the law of attraction from working fully. Bob Proctor would tell his students to forgive quickly and completely, not just people, but themselves. Forgiveness is a spiritual release. When you forgive, your energy rises. You make space for new blessings. Earl Nightingale would agree. You can measure a person's maturity by their ability to forgive. The freer your mind, the faster your vibration ascends and the more abundance can flow. Everything you experience financially is simply energy reflecting your state of consciousness. Once you take responsibility for that truth, you step into power. You stop blaming circumstances, employers, or the economy and realize that you are the cause. And because you are the cause, you can also be the cure. So today, right now, begin to speak differently about money. Treat it as a friend, not a problem. Think of it as energy that loves movement. Circulate it joyfully. Give with an open heart and receive without guilt. When you do, your vibration expands into a field that continuously attracts wealth, opportunities, and peace. And if this message resonates with you, take a moment now to share your thoughts below. Tell me what part of this teaching spoke to your spirit the most. Your comment might inspire someone else to awaken to their power. And that's how we all rise together. Every human being carries a divine power that is often forgotten, the ability to choose their thoughts. Earl Nightingale called this the greatest secret of human freedom. He said that the moment you consciously decide what to think about, you begin to control your destiny. Most people never make that decision. They let the world news or other people decide their thoughts for them. And as a result, their financial reality reflects confusion and randomness. If you want to double your salary, you must become deliberate about your thoughts. Don't let your mind run on autopilot. Observe it, guide it, direct it. Every time you catch yourself thinking a limiting belief, I can't afford that. I'm not qualified. Money is hard to make. Stop and replace it immediately. You're retraining your mental frequency. Bob Proctor used to say, "Discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and follow it." This is the spiritual side of discipline. It's not about forcing yourself to work harder. It's about consistently choosing thoughts that align with abundance instead of scarcity. The mind, like a muscle, grows stronger through repetition. The more you practice choosing empowering thoughts, the more natural it becomes. And soon, you reach a point where abundance is no longer an effort. It's your default setting. Earl Nightingale taught that the universe is law-governed. Everything happens according to law, spiritual, mental, and physical. The law of attraction is just one of these universal principles, but it's interwoven with others, like the law of cause and effect, the law of vibration, and the law of polarity. When you understand these, you gain mastery over your circumstances. Let's start with the law of cause and effect. Every thought is a cause. Every result is an effect. You can't plant negative thoughts and expect positive outcomes. When you want to change your income, start by planting thoughts of wealth, gratitude, and service. That's the cause. The effect, the money, the opportunity, the raise will follow naturally. Then comes the law of vibration. Everything vibrates. Nothing rests. Your thoughts vibrate. Your emotions vibrate. Even your words vibrate. When your vibration is high, you attract people and circumstances that match it. When it's low, you attract struggle and limitation. You cannot attract prosperity from a state of fear. You must first feel prosperous inside. The law of polarity teaches that everything has an opposite. There is no up without down, no success without failure, no abundance without lack. When you face financial challenges, realize they are simply the contrast that helps you define what you truly want. Instead of resisting them, use them as stepping stones to clarity. Now, let's connect these spiritual laws to practical wealth creation. Doubling your salary doesn't require miracles. It requires alignment. You already live in a world of infinite abundance. Every invention, every product, every business, every opportunity came from someone who saw beyond current conditions. The universe responds to ideas. When you think at a higher level, new ideas start arriving. Earl Nightingale believed that ideas are like radio waves. They're everywhere, waiting for a mind tuned to receive them. But only a calm, focused, grateful mind can pick them up. When you quiet mental noise and raise your vibration, you become receptive. Inspiration strikes. That idea might lead to a new business venture, a creative solution, or a conversation that changes everything. Bob Proctor taught his students to act on inspiration quickly. Don't wait until everything seems perfect. When an inspired idea comes, it's already a form of spiritual guidance. The longer you wait, the weaker the vibration becomes. Act immediately, even if you don't know all the details. That small act of faith tells the universe you're serious, and then the next step appears. There's a story Bob often shared. In 1961, he was earning $4,000 a year and deeply in debt. But after reading Earl Nightingale's teachings and Think and Grow Rich, he wrote down a goal to earn $25,000 a year, an amount he couldn't logically justify. He had no idea how it would happen, but he held the image, believed it, and began to act as if it were possible. Within a year, his income skyrocketed, and eventually, he became a millionaire. That transformation didn't come from hard labor. It came from spiritual alignment. He changed his vibration, and reality had no choice but to rearrange itself. That's how the law of attraction truly works. Not by chasing results, but by embodying the energy of the result you desire. Earl Nightingale used to say, "Don't concern yourself too much with how you're going to achieve your goal. Leave that completely to a power greater than yourself. All you have to do is know where you're going." This is where faith enters. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. When you operate from faith, you stop fighting circumstances. You start flowing with them. You recognize that delays are not denials, they are preparations. The universe is aligning people, places, and timing for your highest good. You no longer panic when things seem slow, because you understand that every vibration needs time to materialize into physical form. Bob Proctor would remind his audiences, "Don't let your bank account control your thinking. Let your thinking control your bank account." This reversal of cause and effect is what sets the wealthy and the spiritually conscious apart. They understand that conditions follow consciousness, not the other way around. Now, let's talk about the emotional link between wealth and self-worth. Many people unconsciously reject prosperity because deep down, they don't feel deserving. They've been conditioned to see wealth as selfish or to believe that spiritual people should be poor. But both Earl and Bob destroyed that illusion. They taught that money is neutral. It amplifies who you are. If you're kind, wealth allows you to express more kindness. If you're generous, it allows you to give more freely. When you link your desire for money to a higher purpose, to freedom, contribution, service, your spirit and mind unify. That unity creates unstoppable momentum. You're no longer chasing material gain. You're expanding your divine potential. Take a deep breath right now and affirm this truth. I am worthy of abundance. My wealth is a reflection of my divine essence. Feel it. Don't just say it, feel it. That feeling is the vibration that moves mountains. The more you embody this truth, the more money begins to flow in unexpected ways. You'll notice synchronicities, a message, an offer, a person appearing at the right moment. These are confirmations that your vibration is shifting. And always remember, you are not creating wealth from nothing, you are simply tuning into it. Wealth is already present in the quantum field, waiting for a consciousness that matches its frequency. Before we move forward, pause for a moment. Think about the last 24 hours. Were your dominant thoughts about opportunity or about lack? Were your words filled with gratitude or complaint? Were your emotions light or heavy? Every moment of awareness is a chance to adjust your frequency and attract something greater. And if these insights resonate with you, I'd love to hear your reflection. What belief about money are you ready to release today? Share it below. Your answer might help someone else find freedom too. Most people believe that to earn more money, they must first find a better job or work longer hours. But Earl Nightingale and Bob Proctor both knew that's not where real wealth begins. True wealth begins with awareness. You can't attract what you're unaware of. The moment you become consciously aware that you are the source, that your thoughts, feelings, and energy shape your results, that's the moment your financial destiny changes forever. Awareness is the bridge between your current reality and the one you desire. You cannot solve a problem from the same level of awareness that created it. If your income has been stagnant, it's because your self-image and belief system are operating at the same vibration as your current results. To double your salary, you must raise your awareness to the level of someone who already earns twice as much. Bob Proctor used to say, "If you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hand." What he meant is simple but profound. Everything in your external world was first an idea in someone's mind. Your phone, your home, your career, all began as thoughts. So if you can imagine a new financial reality with faith and emotional conviction, that image has already started forming in the invisible world. Earl Nightingale emphasized that the human mind is the last unexplored frontier. He called it the richest land on earth. You can plant any seed you choose, and the soil, your subconscious, will grow it faithfully. It doesn't care whether you plant corn or poison, wealth or poverty, success or failure. Whatever you feed it with repetition and emotion will eventually appear in your life. That's why awareness must come with intention. When you become aware of your mental patterns, you gain power over them. You stop being the victim of unconscious conditioning and become the creator of your new identity. Let's take a closer look at self-image, because this is where most people unknowingly block abundance. Your self-image is the blueprint your subconscious follows. You never outperform it. It quietly defines how much money you allow yourself to earn, how much happiness you permit yourself to feel, how much love you accept into your life. Change your self-image, and everything else follows. Bob Proctor discovered this truth from the teachings of Maxwell Maltz, who wrote Psycho-Cybernetics. Maltz explained that your mind functions like a goal-seeking mechanism. It always returns to the image it has of itself. If you think of yourself as a person who just gets by, your subconscious ensures that your outer world stays consistent with that picture. But if you start to visualize yourself as abundant, capable, and prosperous, and truly feel it, the subconscious adjusts your actions, decisions, and energy until your reality matches the new image. That's why visualization works. You're not pretending, you're programming. Every time you close your eyes and imagine your ideal financial situation with emotion and detail, your subconscious starts to accept it as real. And once the subconscious accepts something as truth, it begins to create it without resistance. Earl Nightingale's genius was explaining this process in practical language. He said, "Whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become reality." This is not wishful thinking. It's the law of cause and effect operating on a spiritual level. But awareness also means understanding that results take time. Nightingale used the metaphor of a farmer planting seeds. You don't dig up the soil every day to see if the crop is growing. You water it, trust the process, and wait for nature to do its work. The same is true for your financial goals. Impatience is a form of doubt, and doubt disrupts vibration. Faith, however, keeps the energy flowing. Bob Proctor often reminded his audiences that persistence is to energy what heat is to water. It changes its state. When you persist in holding a wealthy vibration despite appearances, your energy eventually reaches a tipping point where the invisible becomes visible. The universe doesn't respond to wishful thoughts. It responds to consistent, aligned vibration. So, what does that look like in your daily life? It means you start living from your vision, not your current circumstances. You stop waiting for more money to feel abundant. You feel abundant now. You treat yourself as the person you're becoming, not the one you've been. Earl Nightingale said, "Act as though it were impossible to fail." That single attitude changes everything. When you act with faith, doors open. You begin to operate with the confidence of someone who knows the outcome is certain. Your vibration shifts from need to certainty, and certainty is magnetic. The universe always rewards certainty. It's not arrogance. It's spiritual alignment. When you are certain of your worth, you stop begging for opportunities and start attracting them. Bob Proctor explained that doubt and fear are simply the misuse of imagination. When you worry, you're imagining a negative outcome. The energy you give to fear could just as easily be given to faith. Both are beliefs in something unseen, but one expands while the other contracts. Choose faith. Every time fear whispers, answer with affirmation. Everything is unfolding perfectly. Money flows to me in perfect harmony. I am guided and supported by infinite intelligence. The more you speak these truths, the more you vibrate at the level of abundance. Now let's talk about the spiritual dimension of money itself. Money is not evil or holy. It's energy. And like all energy, it flows to where it is invited and respected. If you resent money, it stays away. If you feel guilty about having it, you repel it. But if you see it as a sacred instrument for creation, it multiplies. Earl Nightingale once said that money is a reward for service rendered. Bob Proctor added that money comes through people, not from them. That means your goal is not to chase money, but to serve at a higher level. The more value you create, the more the universe rewards you, often through unexpected channels. To double your salary, then, is not to demand more, it's to become more. More skilled, more loving, more confident, more aligned. The outside always matches the inside. When you combine your spiritual essence with clear, inspired action, you begin to operate as a co-creator with the universe. You don't wait for permission. You move with purpose. Here's a truth both men repeated in different ways. You already have within you everything needed to create abundance. You don't need another degree, another connection, or another lucky break. You simply need to believe in the power already inside you, the same power that created worlds. Bob Proctor used to say, "We are spiritual beings having a human experience." Earl Nightingale would agree. The mind moves in the direction of our currently dominant thoughts. When you combine those two ideas, you understand the formula. Spirit gives you the creative power, and thought gives it direction. That's how you shape your financial destiny. The secret, then, is alignment between your mind and your spirit. The law of attraction doesn't respond to random thoughts or fleeting emotions. It responds to coherence. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions all say the same thing, "I'm abundant," reality bends to match it. This is not fantasy. This is law. The great irony is that once you stop chasing money and start aligning with your higher purpose, money begins chasing you. You'll find that the better you feel, the more easily opportunities come. The more peaceful you are, the more abundance flows. Earl Nightingale said that most people tiptoe through life hoping to make it safely to death. But you are not most people. You are awakening. You are remembering your power to think, to feel, to attract. You are discovering that wealth is not something you get. It's something you become. Every act of gratitude, every moment of faith, every positive thought is a deposit in your spiritual bank account. And when that account is full, the physical manifestation, money, success, freedom, flows naturally. Right now, take a deep breath and affirm silently, "I am the source of my abundance." My vibration attracts prosperity. Every day, my life expands in harmony, wealth, and joy. Feel the truth of those words, because they are not affirmations. They are reminders of who you really are. And now, if you felt even a spark of realization through this message, I'd love to hear your insight. What shift are you ready to make today, in thought, emotion, or energy, to align with the prosperity that's already waiting for you? Share it below. Your words may be the light someone else needs to begin their journey toward freedom. As we reach the final understanding of this teaching, remember this timeless truth. Money is a mirror. It doesn't define your worth, it reflects it. It shows you, with absolute honesty, how you see yourself. If your income is small, it's not because life is unfair, It's because your internal concept of value is still growing. The moment you decide that your contribution, your energy, and your presence are worth more, the mirror will change. Earl Nightingale called this the strangest secret, that we become what we think about. That phrase, so simple, holds the entire architecture of abundance. If you think constantly about lack, you'll vibrate in lack. If you think about prosperity with emotion and faith, you will magnetize prosperity. The law is impartial. It simply reflects your dominant vibration. Bob Proctor used to remind his audiences that the universe operates in perfect order. There are no accidents, he'd say. You're always getting exactly what you ask for, consciously or unconsciously. So, if you want to double your salary, begin by doubling your awareness, your gratitude, and your faith. Gratitude, in fact, is the emotional frequency that opens all doors. When you wake up in the morning and say, "Thank you for the money that flows to me easily and abundantly," you're not pretending, you're creating alignment. You are telling the universe, "I'm ready for more." Gratitude transforms your vibration instantly. You cannot be in lack and gratitude at the same time. And when that vibration of gratitude fuses with intention, miracles occur. But the secret isn't to chase miracles, it's to become one. Become the person whose presence itself is abundant. Speak wealth, think wealth, act wealth, radiate wealth. When you walk into a room, your energy should silently affirm, "I am prosperity in motion." Let's bring this to the level of practice, where thought becomes transformation. Step 1. Shift your self-talk every time you think, "I can't afford that." Replace it with, "I'm choosing to create the means for that." The language of limitation closes doors. The language of creation opens them. Step 2. Visualize daily with feeling. Close your eyes and imagine your doubled income flowing effortlessly. See your account growing, your bills paid easily, your freedom expanding. Feel the relief, the joy, the peace. Don't wish it. Feel it is done. Step 3. Align your energy with service. Ask yourself, how can I serve more, love more, give more value? Because money is the shadow of service. Wherever you pour genuine energy and love, money will follow. Step 4. Detach and trust. You don't have to know how it will happen. That's the universe's domain. Your job is to keep your energy clear, focused, and inspired. Doubt is just faith pointed in the wrong direction. Step 5. Celebrate small manifestations. Every small increase is proof that the law is working. When you notice a bonus, a gift, or a new opportunity, celebrate it. You're signaling to the universe, "More of this, please." Bob Proctor said, "Faith and fear both demand you believe in something you cannot see." Choose faith. That choice, moment to moment, is what separates the dreamers from the manifestors. And Earl Nightingale would add, "Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal." That means you are successful not when you arrive, but when you grow. Every time you think more positively, act with purpose, or align with love, you are already doubling your inner wealth. Let's anchor this teaching in a spiritual truth. Your spirit is infinitely abundant. It doesn't know limitation, only expansion. When you harmonize your mind with your spirit, your energy becomes unstoppable. The law of attraction responds to that harmony, not to your words, but to your frequency. So, if you want to double your salary, first double your light, double your gratitude, double your belief. The physical will follow the spiritual, always. Pause for a moment right now. Take a deep breath. Place your hand over your heart and affirm slowly, feeling every word resonate through your being. I am a powerful creator. Abundance flows through me and around me. My income expands in harmony with my growth. I am aligned with divine intelligence. Money serves my higher purpose. Let that vibration settle. This is where transformation begins, not outside you, but within. When Earl Nightingale spoke about success, He described it not as a destination, but as a journey. The journey of a mind awakening to its own creative power. And Bob Proctor devoted his life to reminding people that prosperity is their birthright. Together, their teachings form a bridge between the visible and the invisible, between thought and manifestation. You are walking that bridge right now. Every time you listen, reflect, and realign, your frequency shifts upward. The people around you begin to feel it. Opportunities notice you. Energy flows more freely. You become magnetic to the exact circumstances that reflect your new vibration. So don't strive harder. Vibrate higher. Don't force results. Align with flow. Don't chase money. Become abundance. And when you do, you'll discover what both masters knew. That wealth isn't something you earn. It's something you awaken to. Because the true spiritual secret to doubling your salary isn't about getting more. It's about becoming more. Be more grateful. Be more present. Be more trusting. Be more aligned with your infinite self. And from that place, watch the universe mirror your inner wealth with outer prosperity. Now, take this message with you into your day. Speak it, feel it, live it. And when you do, remember the words of Earl Nightingale. We are all self-made. Only the successful will admit it. You are creating your success right now. Thought by thought, vibration by vibration. And that is the true law of attraction in action.